Hi everybody. You know, sometimes a story is so good, you just have to read it. So I hope you'll enjoy this one. It's from my latest book, The Good Karma Diet. It's chapter 15, Animal Stories. What's your animal story? Nearly everybody has one, and most of us have several, usually involving a companion animal. I have one about Nell, my first dog. She hadn't always been my dog, though. She originally belonged to my maternal grandfather, and I'd often heard the tale of Nell saving his life during an attempted burglary of his little gas station on a country highway. This life-saving feat probably entailed her hearing intruders and barking, but the story had been so heavily embellished by the time I came along, I knew Nell as a canine superhero, fully prepared to risk all for those in her charge. When my grandparents' health deteriorated and they could no longer care for Nell, she moved in with us. She was 16 and I was 6, in first grade at a private girls' school in Kansas City. My parents had both made their way out of hard-scrabble childhoods into successful careers. They could easily pay the tuition, but we so did not fit in. I wasn't aware of that at 6, and it seemed reasonable to me to enter Nell, despite her lack of papers, in the annual dog show. Our competition included poodles with hair bows, an imposing Great Dane, and a broad bulldog named Winston, as so many of them are. Nell and I found our place and on cue proceeded to walk the circuit before the judges. After a couple of minutes, she got tired and opted to sit a spell. There we were, an ancient arthritic mutt with short black hair and soulful eyes, and a chubby little girl with an unfortunate perm, who was yet to learn that in the eyes of this august company, she had no more breeding than her dog. Had it been 5th grade instead of 1st, I'd have been mortified by Nell's impromptu timeout, but I was still young enough to accept things at face value. She was tired and needed to sit. What's wrong with that? When she was ready to walk again, we finished the route and waited for the judging with the other K through 2nd girls and their dogs, who smelled strangely like perfume? I wasn't sure. The results were in. First, a slew of honorable mentions. That sounded so important, being honorable. We didn't get one. Then 3rd place, yellow ribbon. 2nd place, red. I remember to this day that the Great Dane got that one. 1st place in the K through 2nd division goes to Nell and her handler, Vicky Musey. I was overcome with pride. We won! They knew Nell was a heroine and a dog among dogs. In retrospect, I'm sure that the awarding of that ribbon was an uneasy act of charity. But my dog was a champion nonetheless. She stood for pride in who you are, sticking up for those you love, and sitting down when you're tired because it just makes sense. Nell shaped my character. So did Billy, the dog who came next, a white poodle, except when my mom had the grooming lady tint him pink. I was influenced too by the cats we hid from the landlords after my parents divorced, and the injured pigeons and sparrows we tried to save. In adulthood, my first animal companions were 2 white mice, Clementine and Priscilla, and then came the cats. First, Benjamin, Henry, and Albert. I named them for famous vegetarians, Franklin, Thoreau, and Schweitzer, even though they were felines and carnivores. Later, Bobby came. This was when I was a single mom, and we named him Bobby for Bob, my boyfriend at the time, a man who cared about animals in general, but wasn't crazy about pets. I thought that having a namesake might help. Then someone new entered our lives, the scared and skinny stray bird dog I lured into my car with cat food from a recent supermarket run. I intended to find her the proverbial good home, But my daughter, then 11, took one look and said, "I'm going to name her Aspen because we were in Aspen when you said I could have a dog." That was 2 years earlier. She had not forgotten, even though I had. An aging Aspen went to live with Adair when she got married, and Bobby, our last surviving cat, stayed with William and me, living to 18. After Aspen and Bobby died, it took a while for me to open up to a 4-pawed companion, but when I saw a scruffy black schnauzer poodle and maybe something else in a cage on adoption day at Petco, it was time. That's Forbes, Here and Now, World's Best Dog. Of course, they're all the world's best dog and cat and horse and gerbil and turtle and parakeet and goldfish. We know this because we've known them. Very few of us get to know a cow or a pig or a chicken. If we did, I have an idea. We'd think twice about what's on the menu. Maybe we'd look more at a good karma diet. Good for us, good for them. Hope you'll think about it. All the best.